Hey guys, here we go. We have made it. We are to episode 8, which means this is the episode with all of the standings predictions for the entire year for every team. All 32 teams, how many wins I think they're going to have, the standings, the placements, and then the next video I'll run down based off of what I have, who I believe will end up being Super Bowl champion. But the standings video is ready, and we're going to start with the AFC East. Now, disclaimer here. So here's what the rules are. I took everything that's currently going on. The current landscape didn't leave anything out. I will have one chance to revise what I believe may happen at the end of the year in week 4. So after week 4, anybody who is on the injured reserve right now can be taken off and start playing. Some injuries look like they may not be serious, but could actually be more serious. Some injuries will end up being very serious that they just will never come back from. So I get one revision. That is all. One revision, week 4, just based off of who the injuries are. Injuries are a part of the game. They're part of what happens. We do not live in a perfect world, but that is the only time. Week number 4, so whatever episode that ends up being, not sure. But week number 4, I get 1 week revision, and that'll be after everybody comes off the injured reserve. That's when everybody comes off, or they stay on for an extended period of time. Secondly, I know there will be 3 fan bases that absolutely hate me today. One that shouldn't hate me if they understand football, and then a couple that will probably really like where I have them. So this is once again based off of looking at the schedule. A lot of people go off of when you're looking at the teams and go, yeah, but they're good enough to be number 1 in the conference, or they're good enough to get their division, or however you want to look at it. That's true. The problem is that's not how it works. The schedules really show how these teams can stack up when it comes to the really good teams in the NFL, and some teams are just going to struggle. So to show you how that works, here we go. We're going to start the AFC East. So this is what I got. I got the Bills going 15-2. I love Buffalo. I love what they've built. I think they're built for the long haul. I love the acquisitions they've made. I love the new running back, James Cook. I think he's going to be what he's going to bring is a lot of the 2-back system set that they miss because Moss and Singletary really didn't mix in the backfield. Cook is a very good receiving back out of the backfield. I think he helps. Dawson Knox takes another step. OJ Howard absolutely helps him take another step. Gabriel Davis, Stephon Diggs, they're built. They're built to be able to win. That defense is still stout. Tre'Davious White is going to be out the first 4 weeks, but I don't just take my word for it. So here's their schedule. I've got their losses actually opening up. I think the Rams versus Bills on Thursday Night Football could be it's a coin flip. Honestly, I think the game's going to end up 31-27. I really don't want to pick who's going to win. If I'm a betting man, that's one of the worst games to bet this week. I do not like betting that game. You got the Rams at home, opening night, Super Bowl atmosphere because they just won. You got the Bills, sorry taste in their mouth. They got to bounce back, and I believe they have the fire to do so. But I don't like that game. I do have the Bills in this current setup. I have the Bills losing opening week. Not a big deal. And here's why. Because their toughest part of the schedule is going to be the first 6 weeks. First 6 weeks they play LA, Tennessee, Miami, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. That's their first 6 games. I think they get through that 4-2. They get into their bye week in week 7, and then they basically slice the field the rest of the way. I don't see a road game outside of Cincinnati at the end of the year, but I think Cincinnati's defense isn't enough to stop Buffalo, especially since that's going to be probably a colder game. Buffalo's built for cold. So I've got the first 2 losses are going to come early in the year, either on the road against Kansas City, Baltimore, or LA. They're going to lose 2 of those 3, in my opinion. Those will be 2 of the 3 losses early on in the year, and they'll go 15-2. They'll rock and roll. They'll win the AFC because I don't see another road game that's going to beat them. Their road games are really easy after their bye week, and that's what I see is when it starts getting to the time where everything starts separating, the field separates, they have the advantage. So that's that. Miami 8-9. I've got them they're not just missing the playoffs in the AFC, but I've got them just on the outside. I don't have them going 500, and here's why. Their road games are tough. They've got at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, 2 really, really tough road games, at San Francisco, then obviously you have the at Buffalo as well. So I think the road games are going to beat them up a little bit more. They're not as experienced. I think Tua still has a ceiling. You've seen some of the videos where he looks great on 40-yard passes. The problem is Tyreek Hill's used to 55 to 60-yard bombs from Patrick Mahomes. He still can't throw the ball deep enough. I'm sorry. He's one of the most accurate passers in the league. Tua is not going to be a quarterback that's going to elevate in a first-year coach in this league, getting their offense set up. They've got the pieces. I can see next year them winning 11 games, making the playoffs, absolutely. But this year, they're going to have to make a decision on Tua after this year. And the odds are is they'll probably keep him around unless there's a free agent they can really go after. Patriots, I'm sorry, your offense stinks. Your offense, you don't even know how to call plays on the offense. Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Devontae Parker. I liked him when he was in Miami. He's stuck in New England now. Mac Jones, I really do feel sorry for him. That's just that brand. I can see Bill Belichick retiring at the end of the year. He doesn't want to go down in complete flames. It's smoking right now. That ship is smoking, and he doesn't want to go down in flames. I could see him retiring after this year, pulling out 6 wins. The Jets, Robert Saleh will be fired at the end of this year. I don't know if he's actually a bad coach, but he's not going to be able to beat the talent that is in his own division. Zach Wilson, I don't really think is a great quarterback. I think he's kind of comparable to Tua. He's got a really, really low ceiling. He's athletic, but I think that's as far as it goes. His accuracy is a little bit off. And they got some really nice pieces. The drafts have been great. I think if you get the right coach in there that can really come in and grasp what's going on with New York, not a first-time coach, not another first-time coach. You need somebody that can come in and grasp New York, set the standard, set the tone, and I think the Jets could bounce back here in 2 years if they get that right coach in there to be able to handle New York, and that's the key. So that is the AFC East. Hopefully, as far as the standings order, you may disagree with the number of wins and losses, but the standings order, Buffalo, Miami, New England, and then the Jets, I think most people are going to have as time rolls on. All right, here we go. Next one, AFC North. I can already feel it. I can already feel the Steelers fans getting ready to throw beer bottles. I'm sorry. This division is going to be one of the most exciting divisions to watch for the who wins. It is a coin flip between Cincinnati and Baltimore, and obviously this is if both quarterbacks stay healthy. If Burrow is healthy, if Lamar Jackson's healthy, these are 2 teams that'll be fighting it out the entire season. 100%. Pittsburgh, I'm sorry. You're Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin has done an amazing job. I love Mike Tomlin as a coach. Absolutely love Mike Tomlin as a coach. But at some point, You have to take a step back. And the best way I can say it is the year that we fired, the Indianapolis Colts fired Jim Mora, we went 6-10. That was with Peyton Manning. That was with Edgerrin James. That was with Marvin Harrison. We went 6-10. I hate Jim Mora as a head coach. Looking at his record, looking at everything, I think Jim Mora was a horrible coach. He really screwed up personnel horribly. And Tony Dungy comes in, and we make the playoffs the first year, and then we never not make the playoffs again. And that's basically how it works. You handle personnel well, you can kind of make everything roll. Pittsburgh gets your step back here. This doesn't mean you're going to go into oblivion. It means Big Ben retired. You have no offensive line still. Your defense is good, but it's going to get tired. I have said this every single video that we bring up the Steelers. I have said you're going to get tired. The defense will not be able to hold up for 60 minutes a game all year long. With an offense, whether it's Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky, I don't care. Kenny Pickett's a rookie. He's an experienced rookie, yes. But the minute he actually gets blitzed for real and hit for real in a big game, I'm sorry, he's still a rookie. His hands are small. The minute the weather gets cold, he's gonna struggle, guys. Let's just be honest here. The Browns 6-11. The reason I put them at 6-11 now. Some of you may be thinking there's no way they win 6 games. I want to bring you to. I think with the way their schedule lines up, they could win 3 games with Jacoby Brissett, possibly 4, and then win 3 games with Deshaun Watson when he comes back. They get the Jets at home. They play the Panthers week 1, and as much as Baker Mayfield may want to have that chip on his shoulder, the Cleveland Brown defense is going to eat the Carolina Panther offensive line for lunch and spit them out. Cleveland Browns could start the year 2-0 under Jacoby Brissett, with basically running the ball with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, quick outs to Amari Cooper, and David Njoku in the seam. That's what Jacoby Brissett did with the Indianapolis Colts. We horribly misused him and did not give him a fair shake to be able to actually play out a consistent time of being the starter. He can win you 6 games. Their schedule gives them a big break early on. They play the Panthers, the Jets, the Steelers at home, the Falcons. Those are your first 4 games. You could theoretically be 3-1. I dare to say possibly 4-0 after those games if you just run the ball. I'm talking basic. You're going to run the ball, you're going to play defense, and that's what you're going to do. So there's that. I know it's the 4th team in there, but people are going to be looking at me going, there's no way. Yeah, there is. There is definitely a way. Baltimore, this division has it rough. This division plays, let me make sure I get this right. So this division will play all of the NFC South. So they all play the Buccaneers. And they all play, let's see. They each play one. No, they all play the AFC East. So every single one of them play Buffalo. Every single one of them play Tampa Bay. And Baltimore gets, because of the positioning, they get to play Denver. That's going to be an interesting game. That's the week that Deshaun Watson actually comes back from suspension. So there's a lot of interesting games late in the year. It's going to be fun. The Ravens have an easier end of the year schedule, in my opinion. They close with, after that Bronco game, they close at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland, home against the Falcons, home against Pittsburgh, and then at Cincinnati. I think they bring out 4, minimum 3, but go 4-1 to finish out the year. That's why I put them at 13-4. The end of the season really gives them the opportunity to kind of get set up for the playoffs, and that's what I'm looking at. All right, let me check this one. All right, there's that. Okay, that one's good. All right, so that is the AFC North. Now, AFC South. Titans fans are screaming at me, calling me a homer. Deal with it. Um, it's basically simple. Colts are going to win this division. The Titans have a quarterback that is scared of his own shadow. Sorry, I mean, just you gotta be. You got a quarterback, and the memes, and some of the YouTube shorts and the TikToks and everything else that have been flying around Twitter of Ryan Tannehill reacting to Malik Willis's preseason. Ryan Tannehill has pressure, and he doesn't do good with pressure. He has a quarterback behind him that the city of Nashville believes could easily be the quarterback that can give them just enough to still win this division. Because they don't respect the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. They don't respect the Houston Texans. Yeah. And they hate the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts and Tennessee Titans is a rivalry that nobody really wants to get in between, because it really is an interesting rivalry. Going back, Steve McNair, Peyton Manning were co-MVPs. That is still a hard point for both cities to swallow. Two great players. Aaron McNair was wonderful. Peyton was fantastic. Co-MVPs. Nobody liked that. These two cities still argue over that. The reality is their schedule is rough. So here's the road games. Like I said, the home game's not nearly as much, but listen to the road games here. At Buffalo, you're going to lose. You're at Indianapolis, duh, we know that. You're at Washington, that can go either way. You're at Kansas City, you're at Green Bay, you're at Philadelphia, you're at the Chargers. I'm sorry, your road games are against teams that can score a lot more points than you, that can also play defense enough to put you in a bind, and you only have Robert Woods. Treylon Burks is okay. You got Robert Woods, and you don't know how healthy he's going to be coming off that injury. I mean, let's be honest. OBJ keeps getting injured. Julio Jones keeps getting injured. These leg injuries on these receivers are not going away with this turf. Can we just be real here? They're not going away. So to think that Robert Woods is going to be healthy for the whole year, not a chance. I don't see him playing more than 12 games. So I'm sorry. You're going to go 6-11. Jacksonville's going to be a tough 4-13. I think you're going to see a lot of improvement. You're going to see a lot of games where they cover the point spread in betting wise. I just don't think they're going to close out the games yet. And I think the Texans are going to be the same thing. At the end of the year, they're going to be tough. Lovie Smith's got a second year with the defense. The offense is going to come into its own. They're going to be able to play. I just don't think they're going to close out the games. And the Colts, I think 12-5. Could go 11-6, 12-5, or 13-4. I'm going to stick with 12-5. I think the way our offense has to play, we're not going to win shootout games. Definitely not going to win shootout games. And our defense is going to have to control our own division. And that's going to be what it comes down to. So that is the AFC South right there. Moving right along. Here we go. AFC West. Kansas City fans are wondering what the heck I am smoking. Okay, I'm going to go the exact same thing I told Pittsburgh fans. There's always a year. You got Super Bowl, divisional, and now your division is the toughest division in football. Let me explain. Really simple, Kansas City fans that are thinking this is crazy. You're now facing Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa in Los Angeles with the Chargers. You're now facing Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams with the Las Vegas Raiders. You're now facing Russell Wilson with the Denver Broncos. You're not going to go 5-1 in this division. And I told you guys last video, I bet you it's going to come out. It could be all 3-3. That's actually exactly what I have sitting on this sheet right here. I have every single team going 3-3 in their own division. Now, let me be the first one to say, I don't like Los Angeles. I hate the Chargers for that pick. I do not like it. But when you do the schedule without trying to manipulate it or do anything, you just pick the games based off of what the games are, this is what it comes down to. So Brandon Staley, you better not screw this up. That's all I can say to you. As a head coach, you lost games for your team last year because you are horrible with analytics understanding and horrible with time management. You cost your team a division championship this year. You're going to get fired. Very easily, the Chargers could go down to 4th, all because the head coach. It's the only part of their team I don't trust. The only part. So, looking at, let's see, where'd it go? There it is. So, the end of the year for the Chargers is rough. This is where I think most of their losses are going to be. Their early part of their season is actually pretty easy. They get the Jaguars at home, the Texans, the Browns, the Seahawks at home, the Falcons. They get a lot of easy games early, which is why you can get to 13-4. Look at their schedule before you just start spouting off there's no way. There is easily a way. They could also drop down and go 11-6, and Cincy could end up going 12-5 and have 3 teams at 12-5. I fully agree with this. Fully agree with this statement. But I think their offense is high powered. It's big. It reminds me of, Damian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers. Justin Herbert's better than Phillip Rivers by a lot. And I love what they have with their pieces on offense, their pieces on defense. You guys remember Sean Phillips, Sean Merriman on the defensive end. You got Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa. I mean, come on. Come on. Like, it's going to be scary. You got Bosa and Mack, and J.C. Jackson, the corner, is a shutdown corner. This is going to be a tough division to win. Every team could end up going 11-6 or 10-7, but I think they're good enough. This is the best division. The best teams there are right here. I just don't pick any of them to win the Super Bowl because they're going to be so beat up and so tired just to get through the regular season. That's the only reason that none of these teams are my Super Bowl pick. But that is the AFC West. All right, here we go. NFC East. Really? No surprises here. No surprises here. Philadelphia, I think, is improved. They keep putting pieces around Jalen Hurts. They may make him their long-term quarterback. Can you blame them? The success that they've had, can you blame them at all? Dallas, I think, squeaks into the playoffs at 9-8. I don't think they're that good. I do not. I do not think they're that good at all. Their offensive line, even with Jason Peters, let's be honest, he's 40 years old. As an offensive lineman, these quicker defensive ends will run around him. Now, for run blocking, Peters is going to have great technique, probably smash him. But I don't see Dak getting the time. He doesn't have... CeeDee Lamb is he's a 1.5 receiver. He's not a 2, but he is not really a full-bred 1. We'll see if he can grow into 1. But Ezekiel Elliott's on the downhill decline until they realize that and only start Tony Pollard. Dallas has a weakness. Their defense isn't that strong. You take away Parsons, they got nothing. Lawrence can be double teamed. Parsons, I mean, really, their back end is outside of Diggs. There's a lot of question marks on this team. And then their head coach is not a coach that's going to win you any games. So I got the Cowboys going 9-8, Commanders going 7-10. Wentz is not going to get them to the playoffs, and the Giants going 4-13. Really, really simple. All right, NFC North. Packer fans are screaming at me now. That's okay. Who is Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? You guys have heard this from almost every radio host out there. You've heard this from many, many, many other podcasts and shows. Who is Aaron Rodgers going to throw the football to? Because he doesn't trust anyone. He's got potential players he does have. But is the chemistry going to be there immediately? No. Aaron Rodgers does not work hard enough with his receivers. He doesn't stay after practice doing stuff like that. What was said is that after practice, the receivers were working on drills, not Aaron Rodgers and the receivers. See, Aaron Rodgers is not Peyton Manning and he's not Tom Brady. He's got a great ball that throws in the air. He's had one receiver that he's thrown to for the last 4 or 5 years, and outside of that receiver, he's trash. Sorry, just look at it. When you take away his production with Davante Adams, he's nothing. He does not distribute the ball greatly, and he's not going to win you games. I don't know if he's going to have the trust at the end of the game to make the big play, to throw it to the guy that needs to be thrown to. I don't trust the quarterback, and I think he hurts the team. You go 9-8. Defense is going to keep the games close. You benefit from getting 2 free wins against Chicago, and that's about it. So the one I want you guys to notice is I like the Lions. The Lions are my sleeper team this year. I've got them. I'll sneak peek my pick for early. My pick that comes up this weekend. My pick for week 1 is Lions over Philadelphia. Dan Campbell gets his guys excited, gets his guys ready to play. And that is what I want to see. I want to see excitement. I want to see a team that's improving. Don't necessarily like Goff as the quarterback, but I like the pieces around him. I like the defensive structure. I like the fight. It's the fight of the Detroit Lions, especially last year. You lose a bunch of close games to really good teams, and then you knock off a couple of good teams. They've got the ability, they get 2 free wins against Chicago as well. And I think look out for Detroit when they're home. When they're home, look out for Detroit to really play the teams tough and pull out wins. I really think they could end up being 8-9, at worst 7-10. Their schedule lines up, and the way they can play football, the excitement that they have, I think, really comes into play. All right, let's go to the second weakest, maybe the weakest conference or the division in football, the NFC South. Tampa Bay is going to win basically because they get 5 wins in their own division. They're going to beat Carolina twice. They're going to beat Atlanta twice. And I've got them splitting with New Orleans. So right there, those 5 wins are basically half of your wins. That means the other 12 games, or I guess, yeah, the other 11 games against the rest of the league, I have them going 1 game above 500. Here's why. Here it is. Open up at Dallas. They open up at New Orleans, week number 2. Home against Green Bay. Home against Kansas City. That first 4-week stretch, I think they go 2-2. That first 4-week stretch, I think they go 2-2. I think they beat Green Bay. Their defense is solid enough. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to know what to do. I think they beat Green Bay. I think they will probably beat Dallas because of their defense. I think it's actually going to be a grudge match on Sunday Night Football to open the year. I don't see a lot of points going up because both teams are going to struggle, Dallas and Tampa. But I think if there's going to be a game where New Orleans steals early in the year, it's going to be week number 2 in New Orleans. They'll win at home. Kansas City, I think, goes down to Tampa. Still warm weather, beautiful weather. Kansas City goes down and beats them. They could go 1-3, but I've got them going 2-2. And then middle of the season, they've got home against the Ravens on Thursday night, and then home against the Rams. I think I've got them. Actually, I do. I've got them losing both of those, and then I've got them losing at San Francisco as well. So The losses are going to be against teams more on the road, but it's going to be against teams that they just can't keep up with. Tampa Bay's offensive line is getting beat up. Tristan Wirfs is that the tackle position is no longer set in stone. The center and the backup center are hurt for Tampa Bay. That's not good, especially since you're doing a lot of shotgun. That's definitely not good. Shaq Mason can only do so much as a guard. This has nothing to do with Tom Brady. This has everything to do with the team is set up for something I don't think they can. They remind me of the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last couple years with Big Ben right now in their current state. Now, if their offensive line was healthy, they'd probably win 13 games. Straight up, they would probably win 13 games if their offensive line was healthy. You lose the leaders of that offensive line. It changes the dynamic, and it hurts. It hurts. And I don't think they'll have the dynamic. I think they're going to get beat up by Aaron Donald. They're going to get beat up by bigger defensive tackles that can probably blitz rush straight through the gaps. And that's where I think they're going to struggle. Their running game may be non-existent. Tom Brady will probably have an amazing year stat-wise, but they're not going to win much. So that is the NFC South. Some people may say I have the Falcons winning too many games. Probably right. But I like what they're trying to build down there. I love what they're doing. I fully support a year of paying off all salary cap. It's not tanking. So let's do this. Before we got one more division, the NFC West. Let's cover this real fast. Tanking in the NFL is not the same as Major League Baseball, which seems to have teams that are consistently tanking, basically for eternity. And then they in NBA, you've got teams that will tank for 5-6 years straight, trying to do things, keep pushing their draft picks down the road. In the NFL, the way the salary cap is set up, teams eventually, and this is what the GM of the Chargers said last year, you can keep kicking the can down the road, but everything comes due eventually. The Falcons are choosing, with the Julio Jones contract that they had that they traded away, the Matt Ryan trade, and a couple other cuts that they made, they're choosing this year to have a bunch of dead cap space. Cap that they're paying players that are not even on their roster anymore. They chose to have a one down year, dead cap space, drafted really solid draft for them. Loved their draft, flat out loved their draft. And they're going to regroup, have a bad year. They'll have a bad year, but they're regrouping for next year and the year after that. This will be a 2-year rebuild, not a 5, not a 12 like you see in Major League Baseball. 2 years. And next year's rebuild is going to be like, okay, we already had the pieces from last year. The cap space is back open. They can attack some free agents in Atlanta. Attack some young free agents that want just the money. They can outbid some players. You may overpay, but you can get some players. And that is perfectly okay with me. That is, you've got a year where you're trapped by the constraints that are set up already. The salary cap is already set up. You're getting out from underneath the pressures of the salary cap by going, okay, 1 year, dead cap, done, and then next year we'll come back. I respect it. It's smart business. They're not sacrificing their future for anything in the now. They're getting a clean slate, and I fully respect that. And that is how a business should run, and that's the NFL should be very happy with what Atlanta is doing. Atlanta's plan is perfect. Highly respect them for it. All right, NFC West. If the Cardinals fans really know their team, they'll know that record is probably where they will end up. And if you fall apart completely in the second half of the season, you may get lower than that. Let's look at this schedule here. So you open up, Arizona fans, home against Kansas City, at Las Vegas, home against the Rams. Then you get a break. You're on the road against Carolina, but then you got Philadelphia coming in as well. I'm sorry. About the time where you guys fall apart, you're going to be in trouble. Week number 10. This is your stretch. Week 10 through the end of the season. At LA, at the Rams, home against the Niners, home against the Chargers, your bye week. Home against the Patriots, you should win. On the road in Denver, you're going to lose. Tampa Bay comes to town. At Atlanta, should win. If you don't win, you're in a complete collapse. And then at San Francisco, you're going to lose. I'm sorry, your back-end schedule, your schedule is absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal for a team like yours that cannot get it together in the second half of the year. I'm sorry, and I may be generous. This may be generous to give you 9 wins. You may end up only 7-10. I think you're a team that could win 11 games. The paper says you should win 11 games. No. I don't know if your quarterback's going to play hard enough. You don't have your main receiver for the first part of the season, and I think you go 1-3 to open the year. 1-3 to open the year, and I think that's the trouble. You're immediately behind the 8 ball. Simple as I can put it. And you close out when you guys typically fall off the cliff. You're closing out with a absolutely brutal schedule. Absolutely brutal schedule. So there you go, guys. The next video is going to have, based off of all this, based off of everything that you've just seen, I will have my playoff predictions in the next video as well. And also we'll be doing the college corner. Week 1 of college football has been played, or it's still being played, I guess, as of right now. Absolutely great finishes to a lot of games. Next week we'll have a full slate. Everybody will be on the same weekend. We have week 0. This was week 1. Next week we got week 2, and things start rolling. So we'll have college corner, and we'll have the top 10 fantasy players to play. And my prediction for Thursday night will also be there. I kind of talked about that already. Said I don't want to bet it, but you know what? I gotta make a pick each week on this. So Thursday night pick, I will definitely get into it, and that'll be in the next video. But for this video, that is all. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my socials. They are sitting right beneath my picture right here. Appreciate you guys stopping by, watching, and listening. Give the video a thumbs up if you would, please, so we can move up in the YouTube algorithms and get on more pages with the keywords. That is it, guys. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Have an absolutely fantastic week. We will see you in the next one. Wings up, hawk out, take it easy.